Have you ever felt like you were drowning in a sea of information? Lost amidst so many options, so many opinions, so many areas demanding your attention, your time, your vital energy. The modern mind is a constant battlefield, bombarded by incessant stimuli that disperse our focus and distance us from what is truly essential. We feel the pressure to know everything, to be everywhere, to master every new trend. But this incessant search for the external, for what is outside, often leaves us exhausted, confused, and paradoxically, less effective. There is a different approach, a simpler, more powerful path, a refuge against chaos, a pragmatic path to genuine clarity and effectiveness. In pragmatic thinking, we seek exactly that. Direct tools, without embellishments, to navigate the complexity of life with more lightness and purpose. Today, we will delve into a fundamental concept, a compass for those seeking this lost clarity, for those yearning for a lighter and more focused life. We will talk about the Circle of Competence, a simple idea on the surface but deeply transformative when applied with discipline and honesty. If you are tired of feeling scattered, if you seek a way to concentrate your energy where it really matters and produces results, stay with us. The promise is to find a practical strategy to regain your focus and your peace of mind. The concept of the Circle of Competence was immortalized by Warren Buffett, a name synonymous with resounding success and, perhaps more importantly, with an almost implacable rationality in the world of investments. But the wisdom contained in this idea transcends finance. It is a philosophy of life, a principle of action applicable to any area where decisions matter and clarity is crucial. Buffett's rule, in its essence, is brutally simple. Only invest in what you understand deeply. Know the limits of your knowledge and operate strictly within them. Do not venture into unknown territories, no matter how attractive they may seem, just because they are fashionable, because others are talking about them, or because promises of quick gains echo everywhere. Buffett built his empire not by knowing everything, but by knowing exactly what he knew, and equally important, what he didn't know. This is pragmatic thinking in its purest form. It is the direct application of rationality over emotion, of understanding over speculation. Recognizing the limits of your knowledge is not a sign of weakness, as our culture often makes us believe. On the contrary, it is an act of immense strategic strength. It is the foundation upon which solid decisions are built, minimizing unnecessary risks and maximizing the chances of sustainable success. It is choosing to operate based on facts, on real understanding, and not on vague hopes or the pressure of the herd. Think of it as a map of your own knowledge. The Circle of Competence delimits the areas where you navigate safely, where you understand the rules of the game, the nuances, the risks, and the potential rewards. Outside this circle lies unknown territory, the fog of uncertainty. Pragmatic wisdom is not about trying to map the entire world, but about deeply knowing your own territory and having the discipline to stay in it in the decisions that really count. This approach allowed Buffett to avoid speculative bubbles that ruined so many others. While many ran after the next big technological novelty that they barely understood, he remained firm in sectors that he knew intimately, such as insurance, consumer goods, railroads, companies with clear, predictable business models within his circle of understanding. The result? A long-term track record almost unmatched. The lesson is clear. Mastery in a few relevant areas surpasses mediocrity in many. Now, the fundamental question. How do we bring this powerful wisdom from the world of billionaire investments to our daily lives? How do we apply the principle of the Circle of Competence to find more clarity, focus, and lightness in our careers, relationships, personal projects, and mental well-being? The answer lies in two essential pragmatic steps. The first step is to identify your own circle of competence, and this requires brutal honesty with yourself. Where do you really dominate? What are your innate skills, those that seem to flow naturally from you? What knowledge have you acquired through dedicated study, hard practice, and real experience? In which areas do you operate with genuine confidence, with clarity of thought, where your actions tend to produce the expected results? Pause for a moment and reflect. It's not about what you would like to know. It's not about the areas where you have a superficial interest or have read a few articles. It's not about what others think you should know. It's about what you really know, deeply. What you could teach someone with confidence. The tools you handle with skill. The problems you consistently solve. Your circle may include your main profession, a hobby you've practiced for years. Specific interpersonal skills such as communication or conflict resolution. Your organizational skills. Your understanding of personal finances. Your aptitude for cooking, for taking care of plants, for writing, for programming. It can be broad in some areas and restricted in others. There is no right or wrong size. The key here is depth, not width. It's better to have a smaller but well-defined and deeply understood circle than a vast but superficial and nebulous circle. Be specific. Instead of saying, "I'm good with people," maybe your circle is, "I am exceptional at actively listening and offering constructive feedback." Instead of, "I'm good at technology," maybe it's, "I deeply master the Python programming language," or, "I am an expert in troubleshooting home network problems." This exercise of honest self-assessment is the foundation. It defines the territory where your conscious effort is most likely to generate real and significant results. This is where what is genuinely under your practical control resides. Identifying this circle is the first act of clarity, the first step towards directing your energy intelligently. Make a list if necessary. Write. Reflect on your past successes, on the tasks you perform with ease while others struggle. Ask yourself, where do I add real value? Where is my knowledge solid and tested? This is your safe ground, your base of operations for a more focused life. Now we come to the second step, and this perhaps is the most challenging in practice, as it requires constant discipline and courage. The second step is to have the discipline and the courage to stay within your circle most of the time, especially when it comes to important decisions and the direction of your mental energy. The modern world constantly pulls us out of our circle. New opportunities arise at all times. The social pressure to have an opinion on everything is immense. Comparison with others, who seem to dominate areas we don't know, generates anxiety and the feeling of being left behind. This is where pragmatic thinking becomes an essential defense tool. It teaches us the crucial art of saying no clearly and without guilt, to opportunities that, although they may seem brilliant on the surface, are clearly outside your area of deep understanding. Saying no to projects that require skills you don't have and have no strategic intention of developing. Saying no to trying to master every new subject that comes up, just to keep up with the current. Saying no to fruitless debates on topics you don't understand in depth. Saying no to the overload of information irrelevant to your goals and core competencies. Each conscious no to something that is outside your circle of competence is, in fact, a powerful yes to your focus, to your energy, to your peace of mind, and to the depth in what you really dominate. This often means silently eliminating external noise. It means letting go of the unnecessary weight of constant comparison. It means abandoning the self-imposed obligation to have to know everything, to have to be good at everything. It is accepting that specialization and focus are more powerful than generalist dispersion. Think of your mental energy as a finite and precious resource. Every time you venture too far from your circle into areas where you have no solid foundation, you spend this energy inefficiently. You operate based on assumptions, increase the likelihood of errors, and generate anxiety. Staying within the circle allows you to focus this energy where it has the greatest impact, where you can operate with clarity, confidence, and effectiveness. This does not mean never learning something new or never expanding your horizons. The expansion of the circle is possible and at times necessary, but it must be done intentionally, strategically, and connected to your existing core competencies. Learning something new because it complements your current skills, because it opens doors aligned with your long-term goals, is different from jumping from branch to branch, following fads or external pressures. The pragmatic expansion of the circle is a deliberate process, built on the solid foundation of what you already master, not an impulsive reaction to the fear of missing out. Before deciding to expand, ask yourself, is this really aligned with my main strengths and goals? Do I have the time and energy to dedicate to the deep learning required, or will it just be another superficial distraction? Respecting your circle of competence, therefore, is not about self-limitation in the negative sense. It's not about stagnation. It's about depth. It's about mastery. It's about directing your finite energy to where it can truly flourish and generate sustainable value, whether in your career, in your relationships, or in your inner well-being. It is the direct and practical application of pragmatic thinking, focusing on the essential, on what works for you, on what is within your real reach to control and influence. It is simplifying your approach to decision-making, reducing the paralysis caused by the excess of options and irrelevant information. Imagine the lightness of not needing to have a formed opinion on every global crisis or every new disruptive technology. Imagine the tranquility of focusing on improving the skills you already have and that bring concrete results to your life. Imagine the confidence that arises from making decisions based on solid knowledge and not on speculation or the opinion of others. This is the power of the circle of competence applied to life. It is a tool to cut through the noise, to find clarity amidst the chaos, to build a solid foundation for your actions and decisions. So, the invitation today is this: start now. Take some time to reflect honestly and define your circle of competence. What are your islands of deep knowledge in the vast ocean of information? Identify them, then make the conscious decision to protect this circle. Practice saying no to what is outside of it, especially when your energy and focus are at stake. Observe how, by doing this, your mental clarity begins to increase. Observe how the weight of overload decreases. Observe how your effectiveness in the areas that really matter begins to grow. Remember, pragmatic thinking does not seek complex solutions to simple problems. It seeks the most direct, most effective approach, focused on what can be done here and now with the resources and knowledge you have. The circle of competence is exactly that, a pragmatic principle for a more focused, clearer, and consequently lighter life. If this reflection on the circle of competence and pragmatic thinking has brought you any value or clarity today, consider subscribing to the Pragmatic Thinking channel. Here, we continue to explore tools and perspectives to navigate life with more focus and serenity. Also, activate the notifications, the bell, to be notified whenever new content goes live, helping you strengthen your pragmatic mindset. And if you felt that this message made sense, if it resonated in some way with your search for clarity, leave a comment below with the word gratitude. Your feedback helps us understand what impacts our community the most. Also explore our other videos. We have more content on how to apply practical thinking to eliminate unnecessary weights, cultivate peace of mind, and focus on what really matters. The journey to a clearer mind and a lighter life is continuous. The circle of competence is just a tool, but a powerful tool. Use it wisely. Protect your focus. Cultivate your clarity. Always remember, the true power lies not in knowing everything, but in deeply mastering the essential. The power is in focus.